Square root of 27 raised to the power of square root of 3 upon square root of 3 raised to the power of 27. How to solve it? So square root of 27, this is 3 times 3 under square root, then raised to the power of square root of 3 upon square root of 3, and the exponent square root of 27 is 3 times 3 under square root, or this is when a times b is under square root, we can write it as square root of a times square root of b. So this is square root of 3 square times square root of 3, then whole raised to the power of square root of 3 upon square root of 3 raised to the power of square root of 3 square times square root of 3. Again, there is an identity. If a times b whole raised to the power m, then this is equal to a raised to the power m times b raised to the power m. Therefore, it will be square root of 3 square. We can cancel this square root with this square. So, it will be 3 raised to the power of square root of 3 times square root of 3 raised to the power of square root of 3 upon square root of 3. Here again cancel the square root with the square, raised to the power of 3 times square root of 3, or 3 raised to the power of square root of 3 times square root of 3 raised to the power of square root of 3 upon square root of 3 raised to the power of 3 times square root of 3. Using the identity a raised to the power m times a raised to the power n is equal to a raised to the power m plus n, we can write square root of 3 raised to the power of square root of 3 plus 2 times square root of 3, or 3 raised to the power of square root of 3 times square root of 3 raised to the power of square root of 3 upon, using this identity, a raised to the power m plus n as equal to a raised to the power m times a raised to the power n, we can write here square root of 3 raised to the power of square root of 3 times square root of 3 raised to the power of 2 times square root of 3. Now these two are like factors, we can cancel. 3 raised to the power of square root of 3 upon square root of 3 raised to the power of, we can write it as 2 times square root of 3. Now when a raised to the power m times n, this we can write it as a raised to the power m whole raised to the power n. So 3 raised to the power of square root of 3 upon square root of 3 raised to the power of 2, then whole raised to the power of square root of 3. Now this square remove this square root, so it is 3 raised to the power of square root of 3 upon 3 raised to the power of square root of 3. Now these two are like factors, so we can cancel. So answer is 1. So this is one method of solving it. Another method is we can use the property of square root, where when a is under square root, it means it is raised to the power of 1 upon 2. So let's use the second method. 27 we can write 3 times square root of 3, and square root of 3 is, it is raised to the power of 1 upon 2. So we can write it as 3 times 3 raised to the power of 1 upon 2, then whole raised to the power of square root of 3 upon square root of 3 raised to the power of 3 times square root of 3. Again, this will 3 raised to the power of square root of 3 times 3 raised to the power of square root of 3 upon 2, then upon square root of 3 is 3 raised to the power of 1 upon 2, then whole raised to the power of 3 times square root of 3. Now using the identity, a raised to the power m times a raised to the power n is equal to a raised to the power m plus n. So this we can write 3 raised to the power of square root of 3 plus square root of 3 upon 2, then upon 3 raised to the power of 3 upon 2 square root of 3, or 3, we take 2 as LCM. So 2 times square root of 3 plus square root of 3 upon 3, then raised to the power of 3 upon 2 times square root of 3. This is 3 raised to the power of 3 times square root of 3 upon 2, then upon 3 raised to the power of 3 upon 2 times square root of 3. Now these two are like factors. Cancel them. So answer is 1. You can use any of these two methods. Let me know which method did you like more. Thanks for watching.